Will two massive tropical systems converge in the Atlantic? Find out in this video. Tropical Depression 9 has just formed over the last days or so and has wind speeds of 35 miles an hour and a minimum pressure of 1,005 millibars currently as it heads towards portions of the Bahamas areas and is starting to get more and more organized, as you can see, as many convection and thunderstorm development is occurring as the system is starting to organize. Tropical storm warnings are now in effect across all the Bahama Islands, as this tropical system is currently going to head through the region and impact much of the Bahamas around the morning hours tomorrow into the nighttime hours tomorrow on Sunday. Due to this, really heavy rainfall is expected across basically all the Bahama Islands here, especially in these areas in the yellow and orange regions where we could see 4 to 6 and maybe even 6 to 8 inches of rainfall in some spots across all the islands of the Bahamas, where tons and tons of rainfall is expected. So really stay safe in these regions, as significant flash flooding could definitely be possible. I mean, some areas could see 8 to 12 inches, maybe even isolated maximum totals of 16 inches possible in the Bahama regions, which could cause flash and urban flooding and potentially even mudslides across parts of these regions. After Tropical Depression 9 heads past the Bahamas, that's where we get a lot more uncertainties on where this thing is going to go. Most sea models are saying that this thing heads north towards portions of South Carolina and North Carolina, but a lot of the models have been changing over the last few days or so. Some of the models have been saying, oh, this tropical system is going to go straight into South Carolina and North Carolina and impact those areas as a high-end tropical storm or low-end Category 1 hurricane. And now the models are starting to change a little bit, showing that this thing is just going to go straight towards South Carolina and North Carolina, then all of a sudden just curve out to sea and not even make landfall in South Carolina and North Carolina, which is what the National Hurricane Center is showing right now, as it becomes a Category 1 hurricane, but kind of just heads over to the right. Now, there'll still be heavy rainfall from this, but this would definitely be a better scenario if this occurred. Now, one of the main causes of this all of a sudden shift that we could get of this Tropical Depression 9 is due to Major Hurricane Humberto, which is currently a monster Category 4 hurricane with wind speeds of 144 miles an hour and a minimum pressure of 938 millibar currently. I mean, look at this defined tropical system with a huge eye and a really, really strong outer core and outer eye wall of this system here as it moves through the regions. It is expected to become a monster hurricane with wind speeds of 155 miles an hour, gusts of 190. So it's going to only be 2 miles an hour away from a Category 5 hurricane over the next few days or so with this monster hurricane. And this thing's going to be really, really, really close to Tropical Depression 9, which is the reason why this could cause Tropical Depression 9 to form some Fujiwara effect that may occur, which is basically where these storms wobble around each other. And this storm Humberto is expected to go out to sea, but this other tropical system right here is a little bit really, really close to this tropical system, and this Hurricane Humberto that's heading out to sea could maybe cause this other tropical system to head out to sea too, due to it being so close to Tropical Depression 9. That's what we are talking about currently. Now, if we take a look at the models here, the first model we're going to be looking at is the GFS model. And the GFS model says this thing strengthens into a decently strong storm, like a high-end tropical storm to low-end hurricane, as it heads towards portions of South Carolina and North Carolina regions. And it gets really, really close to South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina, but it kind of stalls at that point, and then it heads out to sea as that convergence. See how close those two tropical systems are, Humberto and Tropical Depression 9? That's what's going to cause Tropical Depression 9 to potentially veer out to sea, as it basically kind of forms a Fujiwara effect and heads in the same direction that Hurricane Humberto is heading. And there's a lot of uncertainty still with Tropical Depression 9. We really don't know what's going to happen. It could end up making landfall. It's really not too many days away from this thing making landfall, to be honest. But there's so much uncertainty. This has been a really, really hard tropical system to forecast. We really don't know what could really happen with this system. It could head in and make landfall in South Carolina and North Carolina, or it just heads out to sea and doesn't really impact South Carolina. Most of the models right now are saying it's going to almost like stall over portions of South Carolina and North Carolina, just south of there over the ocean. And that would mean we would get a lot of rainfall from the outer bands and outer core of Tropical Depression 9 as it heads through, which would cause more of a heavy rainfall threat, but a little bit less on the storm surge and tropical storm force wind probabilities, but still some really, really heavy rainfall that we could get. Right now, I do think there will be some significant flash flooding across South Carolina and North Carolina. Most of the models are now changing towards, we're not going to see too much of this making landfall in ports of South Carolina and North Carolina, and it heads out to sea, but still stalls really, really close to South Carolina and North Carolina, which could cause it to bring a lot of rainfall. The European model has basically the same exact situation as the GFS model, having this thing heading really, really close to South Carolina and North Carolina and basically stalling for days on end, probably a day or two here across portions of the coast of South Carolina and North Carolina, and just dumping rain off of the coast of South Carolina and North Carolina, areas like Wilmington and Myrtle Beach areas that could just get dumped with heavy, heavy rainfall as this thing strengthens a lot. And then what happens after, we really don't know, but a lot of the models are consistent in this, and I am starting to get more detailed in thinking that this thing is not going to make landfall. It still could. There's still definitely a chance, but most of the models right now are saying it's not going to make landfall. It'll have to see. But if this happens, what the European and GFS models are showing, and it stalls right off the coast of South Carolina and North Carolina, we could see some hefty, hefty rainfall amounts in these regions, potentially up to 10 inches of rain or even higher in some of these areas that could cause significant flash flooding. So no matter how much strong winds or storm surge impacts these areas, the rainfall is going to be a really big threat here. So definitely get prepared now, as significant flash flooding could be possible in this region. All right, I hope you guys did enjoy today's very tropical-like video. Overall, there's still a lot of uncertainties with this tropical depression. Some of the models are saying it will make landfall, and some of them are not. But no matter what, you should get prepared in South Carolina and North Carolina, as heavy rainfalls could lead to flash flooding, and storm surge and strong tropical winds are expected in these regions. So definitely start to get prepared now, and things could potentially change once we get closer towards the system. But this is not too far away, as this thing is already getting pretty close towards South Carolina and North Carolina. So get prepared now. Thanks for watching, guys.